In today's video, you'll witness things that defy all logic.
Лена Анатольевна, мы вот сами не можем поверить. Мы пошли погулять.
Silent crafts hovering above, mysterious lights flickering in the sky, and unexplainable phenomena.
Real vivid circle rainbow around the sun, but then there's a second rainbow.
These are some of the most mysterious sights ever recorded, and to this day, no one has been able to explain them. Dare to watch if you can. A woman near a lakeside in a rural area couldn't believe her eyes when she saw a whole house floating in the air. It didn't make any sense, right? But that's what it was.
So I just found this floating house. I don't really know how this is possible.
She stood frozen, thinking it had to be some kind of illusion or magic, but it wasn't. She reported it to the authorities, and when they returned with her to the spot, the house was gone, completely vanished. Experts later hinted it might have been abducted by aliens. Yes, an entire house. Who knows what they wanted with it? One thing's clear, something strange is happening, and it's no longer just the skies. Light Gateway. A strange incident took place with a group of fishermen out at sea near Vancouver, Canada. Hoping for a good catch, they instead saw a white streak of light glowing across the clouds. It wasn't lightning, and it didn't fade like a normal flash. It stayed there, bright and still, as if marking a doorway in the sky. For a moment, they stood frozen, unsure if they were seeing a crack between dimensions, or maybe a hidden otherworldly craft in the clouds and that light streak belonged to it. Whatever it was, the ocean didn't feel the same after that, as if they had witnessed something they were never meant to see. Forest Escort.
What? What is that?
I don't know, man.
In the remote northwest forest, a group of hunters waited quietly for a big catch. But the real surprise came from above. A disc-shaped object flew across the sky, surrounded by military fighter jets. It wasn't a drill. The hunters froze, watching the unusual craft pass right over them. To them, it was a captured UFO, and the jets were guiding it, maybe back to a hidden base. It wasn't the forest hunt they came for, but they witnessed a secret chase in the sky. Burning snow.
Anybody know what's going on with the ground lately? Like,
A guy decided to clear the snow one day when something very unusual happened. As he rolled his foot into the snow, it suddenly caught fire. Fire in snow? That shouldn't be possible, but it happened. What made it even stranger was there was no source of fire nearby. Some guessed it could have been a rare chemical reaction, but others believed there might have been some kind of extraterrestrial craft or tech hidden beneath the snow, still active. If that's true, maybe that patch of snow wasn't just a spot on Earth, but a cover for something not from this world. Hidden beam. A local stood at his apartment window stargazing, but what he saw wasn't what he expected. Well, he witnessed a massive beam of light rising through the trees. At the top of that beam, a soft bluish glow pulsed in the sky. He felt like a hidden craft might be cloaked right above it. Or maybe it wasn't a beam at all, but a passage to another world. If that's true, then whatever came through it may already be here, quiet, unseen, and possibly watching us right now.
Look at this. What the hell is that?
Radiant sign.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
In southern Oregon's wooded mountains, a tourist was capturing the scenic views until his camera caught something far more unusual. Around the sun, there was a perfect circle of lights glowing with rainbow-like colors, and just outside it, a second, larger one hovered too. These weren't ordinary rainbows. They didn't shift or fade. Some believe it wasn't a weather phenomenon at all, but a sign, a marker, as if aliens had reached the sun and this was their way of showing it. A message written in light high above Earth, visible only to those watching closely.
Real vivid circle rainbow around the sun, but then there's a second rainbow.
Dropping orbs.
What is this?
Arizona became the center of attention after a strange sighting. On December 6th, 2024, a father standing outside his house saw a glowing white object flying across the sky. It didn't look like any drone or plane. As he tried to figure out what it was, the object started dropping small orb-like things that slowly faded away into the air. That's when he started wondering, was it a UFO? And more importantly, what was it dropping? Those orbs could have been tiny devices meant to monitor Earth's environment, or even track human activity. If that's true, maybe we're not just being watched, we're being studied.
And this thing has been flying around like this.
What the what is that?
Temple Cross.
Елена Анатольевна, мы вот сами не можем поверить. Мы пошли погулять.
In Russia, locals were going about their day when they suddenly stopped. A huge white cross shape was seen hovering in the sky right above an old temple. It just stayed there, which made it more strange. At first, some thought it might be a holy sign, but this cross didn't match anything known. It might not have been a symbol at all. That temple was built on land known for strong natural energy. Maybe the cross was a device sent to scan that energy or open some hidden gate underground. It just hovered, like it had a mission, and minutes later it is said it quietly faded away, like it had found what it came for.
И вот здесь вот такое чудо.
Sky Flash.
Are you recording this? What's going on?
Just when you thought the unusual sightings were over, another one hit the internet. People in the city were stunned when a sudden spark of light appeared in the sky. For a moment, it turned the entire sky blue, then everything went dark. It wasn't from any power grid or tech glitch. This was different. Later, reports claimed it was an energy burst from an alien craft. That flashing light might have been part of a cloaking system, bending light to hide the ship, and when darkness appeared, that could have been the exact second it entered or left our world without anyone knowing where it went.
Yo! What is going on?
Phantom Fleet.
Did you see that? Yeah.
What happened in the sky in Jackson, Mississippi on December 28th, 2024? Let's find out. Everything seemed calm until a strange white object appeared out of nowhere. At first glance, it looked like the moon, but it wasn't. Moments later, several more similar objects showed up right behind it, forming a line across the sky. Slowly, they began to fade away. News channels called it a weather phenomenon, but those who saw it in person weren't so sure. To them, these weren't weather balloons or aircraft. They looked like glowing orbs, possibly UFOs. Maybe they were on a mission, silently passing through our sky and maybe not done yet.
See that? They found it. Look at that.
River Visitor.
Shit, what is that?
In December 2024, a visitor at the Delaware River witnessed something that left him stunned. As he looked out over the water, he noticed a long blue object floating in the sky. It didn't match any plane or drone he'd seen before. Slowly it descended and touched the river's surface. Then without warning, it began rising back up. The object made no sound and moved with strange smoothness. The man couldn't shake the thought that it might be a UFO. Maybe the river hides a base beneath, or perhaps the craft was recharging using the water. Whatever it was, it moved with purpose, as if the river wasn't just a stop, but part of something much bigger.
Yo, that thing is not far from me right now. I can't believe I'm standing out here watching.
Tree signal.
I've never seen a drone like that.
In New Jersey, a group of locals out for a walk in the park spotted something strange in a tree. It was glowing, cylindrical in shape, with several lights flickering inside it. They thought it might be a military drone that crash landed, but hours passed and no military officials arrived to retrieve it. That's when whispers began. Maybe it wasn't ours at all. The lights looked more like signals, possibly calling out into space for help. If it truly was a UFO, then it might have been stuck there, just waiting for its own kind to come and take it back.
Look at this thing, I don't know what it's doing.
Silent symbol.
UFO 啊，啥太阳能板飞了。
In China, a resident stepped out for a regular walk, but what he captured in the sky was far from normal. Hovering above was a strange glowing object slowly moving across the air. Curious, he zoomed in with his camera. What he saw left him frozen. It was rectangular, but not like any aircraft. It didn't resemble any known sign or symbol. It looked more like a coded message or a scanner from another world. The man stood there, unsure if he had just witnessed an advanced craft monitoring Earth. But one thing's certain, whoever designed it wasn't from here, and they might come back for more. Field retrieval. A villager's normal day turned extraordinary when he saw a strange yellowish fiery light glowing in his crops. At first he panicked, thinking his field had caught fire, but there was no smoke, no flames, and no heat. That's when he realized it wasn't a fire at all. It was a beam of light coming straight down from the sky and hitting just one exact spot, almost like it was scanning. It could have belonged to a UFO, and that beam wasn't random. Maybe another UFO had crashed and buried there long ago, and now the mothership had returned to get it back. Otherworldly fleet. A group of tourists was driving down a quiet rural road, enjoying the peaceful views, when suddenly a fleet of glowing white objects appeared above the trees. They flew alongside the car, moving with steady pace. Among them, a few orange lights flickered, adding to the mystery. Were these extraterrestrial crafts on a scouting mission, or could it be some secret experimental drones testing new tech? Whatever they were, the sight left everyone speechless. Maybe they were sending signals, or simply watching us from above, reminding us that the sky still holds many secrets. Sea signal. A visitor staying at a seaside hotel was filming the view from the rooftop when in the water just near the shore. Bubbles kept rising from one specific spot. The ripples were constant, like something underneath was moving or alive. He waited, thinking a sea creature might pop out, but nothing showed up. That's when it hit him. What if it wasn't a creature at all? What if a UFO were hiding down there deep in the sea? Maybe the ocean has always been home to these otherworldly visitors, just waiting for the right time to rise. Mysterious objects. People were left shocked when they saw tiny black objects flying through the air. They weren't birds, and definitely not drones. Their shapes were odd, floating like shadows. Some even thought they looked like Dementors from Harry Potter. But things turned serious when experts stepped in, saying there's a chance they could be aliens. Maybe a UFO crashed nearby and these were survivors. Or maybe they're so advanced they don't need crafts to travel. Either way, Earth may not be as empty as we thought. Keep your eyes open, you never know what's flying above. Underwater light. One night, a local spotted strange bubbling in the lake water, only at one spot. At first, he thought it was just a fish or some underwater creature, but then he saw it, a glowing red orb deep in that bubbling patch. That's when he knew this wasn't normal. The light didn't flicker like a reflection, it pulsed, like it was alive. He believes it was a hidden UFO under the lake, using the orb as some kind of signal. If lakes are hiding crafts like these, what else could be resting beneath those calm waters? Portal sign. In a village near the woods, a villager spotted something he couldn't explain. Well, he saw a glowing white plus sign floating low in the air. It didn't move, didn't blink, just hovered silently as if guarding something. It felt more like a sacred symbol, or maybe even a portal. Locals had whispered about strange openings in the sky before. What if a UFO had already entered from it, and now it was simply waiting for the right moment to leave? One thing's for sure, this village might be sitting on a secret gateway. Silent Squadron. A video recently went viral, and for a good reason. During a private F1 networking event in Florida, everything seemed normal. But then, out of nowhere, 4 massive aircrafts flew low above the gathering. They were gray and didn't match any known flying machines. People just stood there, stunned. No one had ever seen anything like them before. When the footage was shown to experts, they confirmed what many had feared. These could be real UFOs, possibly heading back after finishing some unknown mission on Earth. Mysterious light. Early this year, when a massive fire affected Los Angeles, people began sharing mysterious events that occurred before and after the disaster. One of them was this person who filmed a strange light in Hollywood on January 7th. He saw a massive blue flash of light from his apartment window. At first, it looked like a meteor, but it was definitely something else. Strangely, within a few hours, the whole town was on fire. The person also shared footage from the next day, where flames could be seen burning the same area that had flashed with blue light. Locals claimed the fire wasn't natural. Could extraterrestrial entities have been involved in this disaster? What's your take on this? Watching cloud. On January 9th, 2025, in American Fork, Utah, visitors at a local hotel were left shocked. The sky was completely clear except for one strange, lonely cloud hovering right above the hotel building. What made it worse? A tiny light kept blinking inside that single cloud. It didn't move, it just stayed there like it was watching. People started getting nervous, wondering if it was safe to remain. Some believed it could be a UFO hiding in plain sight, using the cloud as cover, and maybe it had one goal of abduction. Whatever that cloud was, it didn't feel natural. Ashdrop. A clip recently caught everyone's attention for showing a weird sight. It showed a helicopter slowly moving across the sky, but it wasn't acting normally. From its underside, black smoky ashes began falling, but there was no fire, no emergency, and the helicopter didn't stop or turn back. That's when people started asking questions. Some said it looked like a secret experiment, but others had a different theory. The ash could have been used to hide something, maybe a beam, maybe an abduction process. When someone is taken from below, that black cloud might be meant to cover the moment, so no camera or witness can catch what's really going on. The creepy part is that no one knows what was under it. Blue messenger. A clip popped up online and quickly went viral, and for good reason. It showed a strange glowing ball of light flying smoothly across the sky. What caught everyone's attention was the strong blue glow it gave off, which grew even brighter over time. It might be a meteorite, but it didn't crash or fall. Instead, it moved like it had a mind of its own. Many now believe it was an otherworldly orb, possibly a floating messenger using advanced tech to send signals to something above. That blue light, it might have been the message itself, reaching out to a mothership waiting far beyond the clouds. Beam arrival. A homeowner was stargazing on his roof when he encountered an odd light flash in the sky. It appeared, then vanished. But before he could figure it out, several small, unusual objects started circling that same spot. And then came the real surprise. A massive blue beam of light lit up the entire area. For a second, it felt like a portal had opened right above him. Those spinning objects resembled UFOs. That night changed everything. He no longer wondered if aliens were real. He was certain they were already here. Cloud gateway. A strange cloud was spotted in the sky. What made it odd was that the entire sky was clear. Just this one cloud hanging alone. But here's where it gets weirder. Inside that cloud, a huge black ring was slightly visible. It didn't look natural at all. A ring in a cloud. That's not something you see every day. It was believed to be a hidden portal used by UFOs to travel through space without being seen. The cloud didn't drift or change. It just stayed there like it was guarding something. Hours later, it is said it disappeared without a trace, as if the mission through that portal was already complete. Rescue lights. A viewer shared a video that's now making waves. Strange bright lights hovering in the night sky over Las Vegas Valley. They didn't move, didn't blink, just stayed in place above the strip. Locals are used to strange things here, but this was different. These lights were much bigger than any helicopter. Nellis Air Force Base confirmed that they weren't behind it. Some called them orbs. But here's where it gets intense. A night later, reports claimed a UFO crashed nearby. Possibly they came back to find the missing craft and bring it home. Shifting light. 2024 became the year of weird sightings, and this one stood out. At night, a group of people gathered as a glowing saucer hovered silently in the sky. It wasn't just floating, it was shifting shape and pulsing with bright blue light. No one had ever seen anything like it before. Phones came out fast and the clip quickly went viral. Experts believed it to be a UFO, and that light could be a signal to Earthlings about aliens' future steps, so it should be decoded soon. Gray landing. Woods are meant to be peaceful wildlife zones, right? Well, this video might change that. A giant craft was seen slowly descending over the forest, glowing with strange lights. But it didn't come alone. Several smaller glowing figures were spotted nearby. People speculated it was a UFO crash, and the glowing figures were believed to be aliens often linked to abductions and secret visits. Some even say these are time travelers, returning to study their past or fix something that could affect their future. If that's true, then these woods might be holding much more than just trees and animals. Watching lights. Something was glowing in the sky, not the stars, not the moon, but something else. In 2025, people looked up to see a strange craft floating quietly. It had bizarre lights across it, with a bluish-yellow flare moving between them. The way it moved, so precise, so smooth, made it feel like it didn't belong here. Many called it a UFO. Some say it might have come to scan Earth's atmosphere, or to test out new cloaking tech. Whatever the reason, the lights didn't just glow, they seemed to watch, and maybe, just maybe, they were looking for a place to return again. Orb invasion. A bizarre incident took place in Europe that got people stunned. At night, many red orbs were seen slowly descending toward the ground. People gathered on the roads to witness it, and even the police showed up, but no one had any clue what was going on. The orbs lit up the entire sky, and for a moment it felt like the world was about to end. Might be those weren't just lights, they were extraterrestrial tech, and it seemed like the orbs had taken over Europe, or maybe placed it under their radar. Now the real question is what's going to happen next? Skyship. A leaked footage started making rounds online, and for a good reason. It showed a colossal ship hovering silently in the sky, not on water, not in clouds, just suspended mid-air. The ship had strange lights blinking across its surface, nothing like we've ever seen. Ships are meant for the sea, right? This one looked like it came from another world. Down below, a few jeeps and vehicles stood still, as if waiting. Many believed it was a UFO mothership, and those jeeps possibly belonged to the military. Some even guessed a secret meeting was happening between them. The craziest part, as soon as the video started getting viral, it vanished and was removed from every platform. Silent visitor. A wild event shook a local night game. Right in the middle of the match, a huge craft appeared above the crowd, so big it covered part of the sky. It made no sound at all, just floated there, glowing under the moonlight. Some said it looked like a triangle with lights on the edges. Others called it a giant saucer. After a few minutes, it went up so fast no one could catch it on camera. People were left speechless. Many now wonder, was it military, a UFO, or something else? With so many sightings happening lately, maybe we're not alone after all. That night changed how we see the sky. Blue beam. In New York, a driver was waiting in his car when he looked up and saw something that made him look twice. Hovering near the top of a tall building, an unknown object was releasing a strong blue beam of light. He had never seen a craft like that before, and with UFO sightings becoming common lately, he believed this had to be one of them. Yes, you heard that right. It was a UFO. And that beam wasn't just light, it was used to abduct people from inside the building. Police are still searching for them, but the possibility of finding them didn't seem close at all. Fireball. People gathered at a historical building for a celebration when an odd sight drew their eyes to the sky. A huge streak of light raced overhead and vanished behind the building. It looked like a ball of fire, leaving a glowing trail. Many thought it was a meteor and quickly began filming. But here's the twist. No meteor crash was ever reported. Some now believe it wasn't a meteor at all, but a piece of alien tech scanning the area. That building may hold a secret, perhaps a clue they came back for. It's not every day that history and the unknown meet face to face. Light disguise. Some people were standing in a parking lot ready to head home when they noticed an orange light moving through the sky. It wasn't the moon or a plane. First it looked like a glowing orb, then suddenly stretched into a long streak just like a meteor. But it didn't crash. It kept gliding calmly across the sky. Rumors suggested this could be a UFO using light disguise to avoid detection. Maybe it was scanning the area or observing human behavior without drawing much attention. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. 7 orbs. In China, locals were stunned when they saw 7 glowing spheres, yellow and orange, lined up perfectly in the sky. People called them the 7 suns because that's exactly how they looked. Videos flooded the internet, and while some said it was just light refraction, others weren't so sure. A few experts hinted these could be observation pods, sent by an advanced alien race to monitor Earth's behavior, 7 eyes all watching from above. And just like that, the lights faded one by one, like they had seen enough. What if they were taking notes, waiting for their next move? Above depths. A group of fishermen was out in the ocean when they came across a sight truly out of this world. Above the water, they saw a strange craft blinking red lights, hovering low and moving silently. But that wasn't all. A white figure flew near it, almost like a person in a spacesuit. It wasn't a drone, it wasn't a balloon. Could it be an alien in white? And that flying object might be a UFO. Seeing them over the ocean made one thing clear. Maybe the ocean isn't just deep below, but open above too, a hidden gateway to outer space right in front of us. Mountain Link. In the mountains, a strange cloud hovered still, right above a peak. What made it unusual was the glowing light inside it. Even stranger, smoke from the mountain seemed to rise and connect to that cloud. Then out of nowhere, a glowing orb appeared and struck the cloud, and that's when it happened. The cloud shifted, and a dark object sped out of it. It looked like a UFO. Possibly it was drawing energy from the mountain, since some peaks are rich in rare minerals. And that dark figure was none other than an alien. Cloaked Sky. A local went out for a walk when among the regular clouds, one round cloud stood out. It gave off a strange, bright light. He paused. It didn't look like a storm. Moments later, glowing orbs started appearing from behind the other clouds and floated toward it. Then just like that, everything vanished behind a house. It felt like the cloud wasn't just a cloud, but maybe a hidden passage. Maybe the orbs were cloaked UFOs, responding to that strange flash. He couldn't believe what he had just seen. The sky returned to normal, but he knew what he saw, and it's something he'd carry in his memory for a long time. Temple discovery. Near an old temple on a cliff, people noticed a strange cloudy form hanging low in the sky. It didn't move with the wind and seemed to pulse like it was alive. Then out of nowhere, a black craft slowly emerged from it. No sound, just movement. It drifted down and vanished into another cloud below. That wasn't just mist. It looked like a portal, a direct doorway from space to Earth, right above that ancient temple. Makes you wonder, was that temple chosen for a reason? Maybe it holds secrets we were never meant to find. White descents. In an open field deep in the mountains, a farmer came across a sight that made him stop. A group of glowing white orbs hovering low near the ground. They weren't lanterns, animals, or lights from any vehicle. Locals said they'd seen them before too, years ago, around the same time each year. These were otherworldly orbs, which might be part of an ancient connection, possibly drawn to this field for a reason. Maybe a hidden relic or energy buried deep beneath. It felt like they weren't just visiting. They had returned to activate something long forgotten. If they've been here before, what were they waiting to complete? Tentacle Watch. A driver was heading home when he looked up and froze. Floating in the sky was a jellyfish-shaped object with glowing tentacles moving slowly. It made no sense. Jellyfish live in water, not the air. Then came the thought, was this a UFO? It sure looked like one. Experts have often reported crafts taking on strange forms, and this could be one of them. Maybe it chose that shape to show off its dominance, to remind Earthlings that we're being studied in ways we still don't understand.